Welcome back to MetaCast, everyone. I'm John, and
I'm Maya.
we're ready for another deep dive.
Absolutely.
Today we're looking at Arcane Season 2 on Netflix.
It's really taken the world by storm.
It's definitely raising the bar for video game adaptation.
You said it.
We got a great article, actually, from a gaming website, Level Up, that we're using for this deep dive.
Some fascinating insights in here.
So this isn't just topping charts. It's really becoming a phenomenon, and we're going to look into why
Yeah,
this year has really been a mixed bag for video game adaptations.
definitely.
I mean, Fallout was fantastic.
Yeah.
It really captured that feel of the game perfectly.
It did.
But then you have, like, Borderlands and Halo.
Not so much.
Yeah, not quite as successful, right?
It's a tough balance to strike adapting a game to a new medium.
Right.
Arcane seems to be doing it really well.
It is. And remember how huge Season 1 was back in 2021?
Oh, yeah.
It was like a global phenomenon.
It was.
It got all this critical acclaim, and it set some pretty high expectations for Season 2.
Yeah, the anticipation was palpable.
It was.
And then they had that really clever release strategy.
Yeah.
Releasing it in 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
The first one dropped November 9th.
Smart move.
It definitely added to the excitement.
And seems to be paying off because
Big time.
the data from Flix Patrol shows Arcane Season 2
At the top.
at the top of the charts.
In 65 countries.
Wow, 65 countries.
That includes the US, the UK, Mexico, like all the major markets.
That's incredible.
And it's beating out shows like Outer Banks.
Yeah, that's a really established hit.
It is.
And get this, Arcane is currently the most watched show globally on Netflix.
Wow.
It makes you wonder, what is it about this show that's resonating so deeply
Yeah, it really makes you think.
with viewers worldwide? I
Yeah.
mean, what's going on here?
Well, one thing that's interesting is the budget for this show.
Oh, yeah.
Reports say that this might be the most expensive animated series
Oh,
ever produced,
Wow.
with a budget of around $250 million
For both seasons.
for both seasons.
$250 million.
That's a big gamble.
That's a huge gamble, yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on the show to deliver,
Yeah.
both with viewership and critical acclaim.
And speaking of critical acclaim,
Yeah, it's sitting at a 96% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
wow, that's incredibly impressive.
It is.
Now, some people might say, well, it's based on League of Legends, a hugely popular game,
Yeah.
so its success is a given. But Arcane seems to be reaching far beyond
Oh, yeah,
just the gaming community.
definitely.
What do you say?
Absolutely. It's attracting a much broader audience.
Right.
People who may not even know anything about League of Legends or video games in general.
Right.
And that says a lot about the quality of the storytelling, the animation, the characters.
Yeah,
They've created something really special here.
it really is something special.
It goes beyond the source material. It's standing on its own.
Mm,
It's really remarkable.
absolutely.
And it doesn't rely on you knowing anything about the game or the characters.
Right.
It's just a compelling narrative that stands on its own merits.
It's a really good point. It's like they're breaking down those barriers that used to exist
Yeah.
between, gamer content
Mm-hmm.
and mainstream entertainment.
Exactly. And it's proving that a story rooted in a video game world can be just as engaging and just as emotionally resonant as any other great show out there.
Right.
And so it brings us to the question,
Yeah.
can Arcane sustain this momentum?
Yeah.
Can it become a cultural phenomenon that rivals shows that have nothing to do with gaming?
That's the question on everyone's mind,
Right.
right? I mean, we've seen video game adaptations kind of have their moment,
Mm-hmm.
but Arcane feels different.
It does.
There's a depth to it. There's a complexity to it.
It's not just about the flashy action sequences.
Right.
It's really delving into some pretty weighty themes.
Like what?
Well, you've got class disparity, social injustice,
Mm.
trauma of war and violence,
Right.
and it handles them in such a nuanced and sensitive way.
It does.
And these themes are interwoven with the characters' personal journeys.
Right.
It makes it even more impactful.
And speaking of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vel and Jinx especially,
Yeah.
they're so well developed.
They are.
You really understand their motivations, their struggles.
Even if you don't always agree with their choices.
Exactly.
The character development in this show is one of its greatest strengths.
Yeah, you really become invested.
You really do. You care about what happens to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes the narrative so gripping and relatable.
It's like you're experiencing the world through their eyes,
Yeah.
feeling their pain, their hopes, their despair.
And that's something that transcends any specific fandom or genre.
It does.
Arcane is tapping into universal human experiences.
Yeah.
Love loss, betrayal, ambition, emotions that resonate with everybody,
Right.
regardless of your background.
Exactly. And it does all of this through stunning visuals.
Oh, the animation is incredible.
It's unlike anything we've seen in a Western animated series before.
It's this really unique blend of 2D and 3D elements.
Yeah, and they blend so seamlessly.
They do.
It's both stylized and realistic.
Capturing that gritty industrial aesthetic of Zaun,
Yeah.
and then the vibrant, almost magical feel of Piltover.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
And it's not just the visuals. The soundtrack is impressive, too.
Oh, yeah.
Blending orchestral scores with contemporary electronic music
Yeah.
to create this soundscape that's epic and intimate.
It really sets the mood.
It does. It really does. Every element of this show has been so meticulously crafted.
The character design, the world building, the music.
Yeah.
It's that attention to detail that makes it so immersive.
It's what elevates it beyond your typical video game adaptation.
Exactly. You feel transported to the world of Runeterra.
You do.
You experience its wonders and its horrors.
Alongside the characters.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So we've talked about the global success. We've talked about the massive budget,
The critical acclaim.
the release strategy, the diverse audience.
What's the key takeaway here?
What makes Arcane such a groundbreaking achievement?
I think the key takeaway is that Arcane proves video game adaptations can be more than just mindless entertainment.
Okay.
They can be works of art. They can tell complex, emotionally resonant stories
Right.
that rival any other form of media.
And it's not just about appealing to gamers.
Right.
It's about demonstrating that these stories, when they're handled with care,
And creativity.
can transcend their origins
Yes.
and connect with a much broader audience.
It's about pushing the boundaries of storytelling, challenging our preconceived notions about what a video game adaptation can be.
And it leaves us with some really interesting questions.
Right.
Like, can Arcane maintain this momentum?
Yeah.
Can it become like a cultural touchstone that sparks conversations about social issues, about the human condition?
Those are questions that only time will answer.
Right.
But one thing's for sure, Arcane has set a new standard for video game adaptations.
It really has.
And it's going to be hard to surpass.
It will be. And for our listener who sent in this article, think about this. If Arcane were to become a cultural phenomenon, what would that look like? What kind of impact could it have on the way we view video games and their potential as a storytelling medium?
Yeah, it's exciting to think about the possibilities.
Well, you know, they got the potential.
We've seen how certain shows, you know, have like sparked national conversations, influenced fashion trends, become part of our language.
It happened.
Could Arcane have that kind of impact?
It could. It's visually stunning. It's thematically rich. It's emotionally gripping.
Yeah.
And it's got that connection to like esports and gaming.
Right.
It could really
Yeah.
tap into this cultural force.
Yeah, that's already like...
Reshaping entertainment and media.
It is. It's huge. And, you know, I think it's interesting to consider how this unique release strategy might play a role in its long-term success. I mean, this staggered release.
3 acts.
Dropping in 3 acts, it's generating a lot of buzz.
A lot of anticipation.
It is. People are talking, they're theorizing, they're waiting for the next installment.
It's true.
And it's creating this sense of community and a shared experience.
Right.
Which I think is kind of missing from our on-demand streaming culture.
It is. It's almost like the old days of appointment television.
Exactly.
Where everybody would gather around the TV to watch the latest episode.
Yeah.
Arcane is kind of creating that excitement and engagement.
But on a global scale.
It is a global scale. Yeah, it's wild.
And it's not just about the entertainment value.
Right.
It's sparking these conversations.
About important social issues.
Yeah, getting people to think critically about things like class inequality, political corruption, the cyclical nature of violence.
It's got something to say.
It does.
And it's saying it in a way that's entertaining and thought-provoking.
That's a rare combination.
It is. It really is. And that's why I think it has the potential to have a lasting impact.
I agree. I think it's more than just a video game adaptation.
Yeah.
It's a cultural event.
It is.
It's a testament to the power of storytelling, the artistry of animation, the potential of video games to inspire these meaningful and impactful narratives.
Well said. So to recap, we took a deep dive into Arcane Season 2.
We did.
We explored its record-breaking success, its unique release strategy, the reasons behind its global appeal,
We talked about the animation, the characters, the themes.
the financial risks involved in such a massive production.
Yeah, and the potential to become a cultural touchstone. and really redefine how we view video game adaptations.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we'll leave you with a final thought. Arcane has proven that video game adaptations can be more than just cash grabs or fan service.
Right.
They can be works of art capable of captivating audiences worldwide.
And sparking important conversations.
So keep watching, keep thinking, and keep those conversations going.
Yeah, the world of Arcane is rich and complex.
It is.
There's so much more to explore.
Thanks for joining us on MetaCast.
Until next time.
Stay curious.